everyone, this is James from TDB bringing you another Inbetweenisode. Today I am going to be talking about a Hongcha Taobao group buy that I participated in, ran by none other than Sexy Rexy, so shout out Sexy Rexy. This is a group buy where he basically researched a bunch of different Taobao vendors for Hongcha. He focused probably not on the lowest end, but on sort of the mid to high end, and you can choose the teas that you wanted. So it was a very fun group buy to do, even if I'm not sure if I loved the majority of the tea. And for me, at least, this was an interesting way to approach it because I feel like in the Western market, we are exposed to certain tastes, certain curated tastes from different people that are bringing the tea to the West. So it's interesting, conversely, to just see the different teas that are being sold in kind of more local markets or just in the larger Chinese market in general. For instance, like some things that are very, very local to Hong Kong, something like the death roast, like Fujian, or the CHTH, I think is the acronym for it. I'm not going to try to say it. But these different sorts of oolongs that are not exactly like fancy high-end teas, but are really catered towards the local taste. So traditionally stored pu'er. I mean, pu'er in general was really more of a regional specialized beverage that was not intended to be fancy or whatnot. So anyways, point being that in the West, we get certain teas marketed towards us, but seeing what is sold within China is kind of interesting on its own. And so I am not a Hongcha person. I drink Hongcha pretty much only for TDB when it's on camera. So it's an interesting way to just try these different teas. Wanted to also test to see if I actually like this category of tea. And for me, the answer is decidedly no. I'm actually very sick of Hongcha at this point. It's probably one category that I probably won't really care to visit in earnest in several years. And these teas were kind of interesting because I am so much of a pu'er drinker that a lot of them were very difficult for me to enjoy, and a lot of them tasted very similar. And I was curious because, when you're only having one or two a year, teas tasting similar is different than if we have stuff in kind of close succession with one another, which is how I did it here. And so, a lot of the teas did taste very similar. There was a focus on Qimin, but there were also some more from kind of the Fujian, the Wuishan areas that tea has grown. And those tended to be my favorite. I think the one that I liked quite a bit was something like a $4 gram Hongcha from Jinzhengmei, their fancy one, which I liked quite a bit more than their fancy but not quite as fancy one. Not sure if it's a buy for me, but I might buy a packet just to get another take on it. I only had one session with it, but it did stand out in a sea of teas that tasted very similar to each other. But a lot of them are more, very fragrant focused. There's more of a front taste to the teas. There's kind of just a generic black tea taste that a lot of these teas have of honey and whatnot. They also all had very pretty packaging, so it's interesting. I do feel like a lot of these are probably intended to be kind of gift tea, and so they are, as a result, a little bit more fragrant forward, and they have nice packaging and whatnot, and they feel kind of fancy. But I will say that probably 75-80% of them were a little bit dissatisfying, especially from someone coming from a pu'er perspective, where I want a little more just like deeper woody flavors, deeper flavors and flavors that have a little bit more depth to them. So in that sense, I can't say that I necessarily love them. But nonetheless, I'm glad I did it because it was interesting to try through these teas. And I was also curious, I wanted to loop Denny into it because Denny is far more of a Hong drinker than I am. And so this kind of teaches me a little bit about my own taste that probably Hongcha is never going to be the beverage of choice for me. So anyways, thank you for tuning in. Shout outs to Sexy Rexy, and I will see you all next time. Cheers.